This is Traveling with Juicy James. We landed in Milan on our way to Lake Como. Milan has the largest cathedral in Italy and is known as the high fashion capital of the world. So there were many fashionistas there, and naturally, my sense of style fit in perfectly. Before I get into the beautiful Lake Como part of the video, I want to share a few Italian travel tips and tricks I learned during our stay. First off, don't think of Italy as one united country. It is very regionalized. You ask someone from Milan, and they'll tell you real Italy is everything Tuscany and north. I learned this the hard way, as per usual, by having the audacity to ask for an Italian horn charm in the Lombardy region. Cornicellos are a good luck charms that must be gifted to you, but apparently it is a southern Italian tradition, specifically in the Naples region. I was literally run out of a jewelry store in Lake Como for asking for one by what initially seemed to be a sweet old lady at her shop. Secondly, I know Italians love football, and I assumed everyone in Lake Como would love American superstar soccer player Christian Pulisic, seeing as how he plays for one of the largest and most successful football clubs in Italy, AC Milan. I mean, it's only 30 minutes away, and they play at the highest level of European football. Nope, wrong again. I'd bring it up in conversation with locals trying to be friendly, and quickly learned that Lake Como residents root only for Lake Como football, and that they think AC Milan is trash. Lesson learned. Lastly, Italians take a lot of pride in their food, so know what your region of Italy specializes in. Northern Italy is more risotto and polenta style dishes, where central and southern Italy are more of your pasta dishes. Whenever you're eating one of the world's finest cuisines, you want to make sure that you're eating something authentic to where you are. Pizza is available everywhere because who doesn't love some za? Word of advice though, order one whole pie per person and use a knife and fork to eat it. My wife and I shared a pie together, and all of the locals were giving me that what a wuss vibe, like I couldn't eat the whole thing on my own. Again, there was another sweet Italian old lady next to me, downing a whole pie by herself, giving me the side eye as I shared one with my wife. Also, don't get smart and think that you know how to do something that may or may not be culturally appropriate. My wife and I went to a nice dinner our first evening, and bread and wine were served with the meal. I had the bright idea to dip my bread into the wine and then eat it. Again, I knew I had misstepped when the waitress and the chef both watched me do it disapprovingly. Okay, enough of the how not to look like an idiot in Italy segment of the tips and tricks. And here's some actual helpful factual information. Now, there are three types of restaurants you'll find in Italy. The first is a ristorante. This is a typical restaurant. It's formal, more expensive. They'll have a full menu with multi-course meals, waitresses, hostess, the whole nine yards. You'll find these all over the place. Then there's the osteria. This is more of your casual dining. They have lower prices. They'll have a small menu, usually written on a chalkboard out front. It's more of like a good food, good company type of vibe. Sometimes they have communal seating, and they can be wine-centric. And then last, there's a trattoria. These are semi-formal. They're great local food, more of like mom and pop type joints. They have affordable prices and usually has family recipes and specialties. Those are just a few of the things that I learned during our time in Italy. Our destination was the famously romantic Lake Como. Located on the border of Italy and Switzerland at the base of the Swiss Alps, Lake Como is known as a popular tourism location for famous lovers, such as Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, as well as home to celebrities such as George Clooney, which they will constantly bring up. We stayed at the four-star Hotel Barchetta Excelsior at the plaza on the harbor of the lake. My first thought upon checking in was, what is this? An elevator for ants? We squeezed in, and here's our room.
Here we go. There's a nice little room in Como. Two toilets? One in a day. What a good night. Did you hear that? Dad jokes on the camera.
Our first day was overcast and rainy, so we decided to explore around the hotel. We grabbed 2 espressos and an Italian pastry, which happened a lot during our time here in Italy. The first stop was the Lake Como Cathedral, which was modeled after the cathedral in Milan. As you can see, the architecture and the engravings are both beautiful and remarkable, and the white limestone exterior glows pink during sunsets on sunny days.
And the most important and famous theater we have in Milano, that is one of the famous we have in Italy, La Scala. La Scala was built and
I mean, look, all the way up. Let's at the very top.
Even though the Como Cathedral was a mini replica of the much larger Milan Cathedral, the inside was massive. With many statues and ornate hanging rugs, it was absolutely beautiful. The church organ was huge, there were multiple prayer sites throughout, and the paintings on the ceiling were all gorgeous. The altar was actually relatively plain compared to the rest of the church, but I think my favorite feature were all of the biblical stories depicted on the stained glass. We continued our excursion through the narrow cobblestone streets, which, in cowboy boots, didn't exactly provide the ideal walking conditions. I did manage to completely eat it, slipping and busting my ass, which I think might have been one of the highlights of the day for my wife. The building walls along the streets had a bunch of these cool works of art, some pretending to be windows, quotes, and artwork from Dante's poems and murals. So every turn around a corner presented a new fun hunt and seek type adventure for our exploration. We stumbled into the city square with vendors and a large statue, then made our way to the Lover's Archway. Our night concluded with an elegant meal at an osteria where I had the regional specialty risotto, and my wife had a local fish delicacy with a pomegranate sauce. Despite the weather, it was a terrific first day and a great way to begin our trip. In case you were wondering, yes, I did dip the bread into the wine at our fancy dinner, and this is where I discovered one of the tips that I had mentioned earlier. Now we get to what Lake Como is all about. A fantastic day full of adventure was ahead.
Hey, we're in Lake Como, Italy. We're about to get on the funicular, just to give you a panoramic view of what we're looking at here. And we're heading right over here is the funicular. That's like a cart that will take you up the hill, up the mountain. So they give you the view, and there's a restaurant up there for you to eat at. Here's the funicular going up.
Even the walk across town was special.
Comes down. You gonna get in it? Picture? I think we get in the front or the very back. That's true. This is the view from the top of the funicular. Very impressive. You can see the snow-capped mountain from the Swiss Alps in the background. And the Lake Como's down there. There's the funicular going back down. It's the villa up on top of the funicular. Village of Como, Lake Como. There's that bridge we were looking at from above. Village. There's the Swiss Alps. Hey, we're on our way to Trattoria del Cacciatore. That's like a mom and pop restaurant in Italy. It's kind of off the beaten path. But it's supposed to be the bomb. We'll let you know. All right, we made it to the Trattoria. This is the say hi, wife. This is the view from atop of the funicular at the Trattoria restaurante that we are at, the mom and pop restaurant, trying out the polenta. I really can't put into words how beautiful this place is. Hope these videos do it justice.
The Trattoria's house special was the polenta, so I had that with the braised beef cheeks, and my wife had a veal loin. The meal was served with wine and bread, of course.
My wife says that this is not what you're supposed to do. I think this is how you do it. You get bread with every meal, and you get wine with every meal. So why not? Just a little dip. I mean, big up. So we just finished the meal. It was delicious. It's kind of off the beaten path, like I said, so now we're having to run back to the funicular so that we don't miss our boat trip to the Bellagio. It was worth it. It was delicious. And the view was beautiful. See you in a minute.
We had a long hike back and barely made the bus for our boat ride to Bellagio. Here's the route we took and the view from our tour bus.
In this area are graves built in that kind of stone. So here to the right, this little village is Moltrasio. Moltrasio, in few minutes you can see from here a roof, an orange roof, that one with chimneys on the top, so big.
The view of midway through the route.
As I told yesterday, in 2022, a rich man from England rented the villa for a wedding party for 1,200,000 euros. Yes, not bad. And they know that the singer at the wedding party was Lady Gaga. Yes. Now,
Here's the last bend in the lake and our docking location.
This is the view from the boat we're about to take to go to the Bellagio. And there's our boat.
Here's the view of the boat, our departure, and several cool buildings along the shoreline.
This is the view that we're getting on the cruise on the boat on Lake Como, going to Bellagio.
This is the house where Anakin Skywalker married Padme in Star Wars Episode II: Attack of the Clones. Beautiful villas and countryside dominated the boat ride. better see the Swiss Alps from here. The mansions along the lake as we arrived to Bellagio were unbelievable.
Welcome to Bellagio.
Be on the lookout for part 2 of our Lake Como trip and our time in Bellagio. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this video. I'll see y'all in the next one.